Children's Week is the largest annual event held in the state that celebrates its commitment to children, youth, and advocates. The event, which is held during Florida's legislative session, delivers the message to our state leaders that every child deserves to be healthy, ready to learn, and able to achieve their full potential. Dr. Graham, welcome to the program. We are so thrilled to have you. Tell us about the work that you're doing at Florida State University that's impacting kids across the entire state of Florida.
Great. Well, I have been at FSU for 30 years now as the director of the Center for Prevention and Early Intervention Policy. And our space is prenatal to age 3 because the research says that's the most impactful time for developing the brain. And so we have an early Head Start program for impoverished families in Gadsden County. We work with teen parents that are involved in trafficking and in the courts, and we help them heal and have a good, healthy baby. And we do baby court, which is kids and child welfare, helping to heal the trauma of the parent and the child. We train in infant mental health, and we work for quality infant toddler care. So everything we do is about babies and toddlers and making the world better for them.
That's wonderful. So for all the amazing work that you've done, you were awarded a big award last night from Children's Week. Tell me about that.
Yes, it meant so much because Governor Lawton Chiles started our center. I was there 34 years ago when he said, we've got to do more for our babies. Our infant mortality rates, our infant low birth weight are so off the chart. And he says, we got to do something. And so he established our center. And then he had the audacity to run for governor and leave us. So I've been there now for 30 years really trying to implement his vision, which is that we really leave no child behind. So the award was particularly meaningful because it's named for Governor Chiles, and he motivates our work still today.
Wonderful. Why is Children's Week important to you and the work that you do?
Because it reminds us all that children are our future, and we're such a rich state. We have so many people come to Disney World for their dreams, and yet the reality for many children in Florida is that they're really struggling. And they struggle in poverty. Half of our kids in Florida are born into poverty. Do you know what that means? That means they don't have diapers and health care and quality child care. Half of the kids then aren't ready for kindergarten. And our child care is struggling because families can't afford it, and we don't have quality, and you can't keep people for $12 an hour. And then we have our child welfare system that so many kids have trauma, and we just push them down the line and never address their trauma, and then it shows up. It shows up in criminality. It shows up in mental health issues. These aren't bad kids. These are kids who've had histories of trauma, and then we just pass them through the systems, and it only exacerbates. So my wish for Children's Week is that everybody understands the importance of early childhood, but more importantly, they put the money where the mouth is, and we do something about it, right?
That's a great segue into my next question is, are there any initiatives that you all are supporting here during Children's Week and here at the legislature?
Absolutely. One is early intervention. Only 25% of kids get developmental screenings. And we know, I was the principal of the Debbie School. I had kids who they said would never walk or talk, and because of early intervention, they talked and walked at age 3. And so we know when we get them early. So I talked to the Surgeon General about what we could do to increase our screening rates. And then you got to do something about it with early intervention. And then quality child care. We know that too many of our kids are in really babysitting, poor quality child care. We've got to pay our teachers, train them more. And then child welfare, baby court, so healing the trauma so we can stop the multi-generational cycle of abuse.
What would you like to see happen for Florida's children in the coming year?
It's really hard to be a parent. You're a parent, I'm a parent. Working and having children is really hard. We want our kids to be, everybody wants their kids to be safe and healthy. And yet we're leaving way too many families behind. So I like to see healthcare expansion, and so that all kids can have access to kid care and the health care that they need. Pregnancies, we still have incredible maternal mortality, particularly for women of color. What's going on? Why can't we do that better? So we know the things that work. We know the solutions from the research. We just have to have the political will and then make those strategic investments.
Is there anything else you'd like to add for our listeners today?
Well, everybody can be a child advocate. You don't have to have a PhD, because who doesn't care about kids, right? Because when we're long gone, the kids are going to be the ones ruling the world. And so an investment in kids is an investment in our future. And so with everything we do, if we could consider, what about the babies? How is this going to impact? Is this going to be better for the babies?
That's a good way to look at it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of Children's Week, I'd like to thank the network of generous partners who speak out as one voice on behalf of children and families. Children's Week would not be possible without their contributions, time, advocacy efforts, and support.